So, fa, sol, la, so, re, mi, fa, so, fa, do, re, mi, fa, mi, ti, do, re, mi, re, do. Okay, so after listening to that first recording of the first phrase of the Caldara canon number 34, I noticed that first of all, I ran out of breath very easily, and I know that when I recorded this originally, I wasn't paying too much attention to where I was breathing. So this next time around, I'm going to try to make it a little bit further, but I'm also going to make sure that I breathe right after a do, after it's resolved, to make it not an awkward breath in the phrase. I also noticed that that time through was very rhythmic, and it didn't really focus too much on tuning or shaping of the phrase. So to do that, this second time I'm going to try to add some more dynamics and just think about making music instead of getting the solfege out. So here it goes for the second time. So, fa, sol, la, so, re, mi, fa, so, fa, do, re, mi, fa, mi, ti, do, re, mi, re, do. Okay, listening to that second recording, I think that was a little bit more musical, but I noticed that I still didn't add any dynamics. So I think I had more intention as to where the phrase was going. I kept the phrase longer, I guess you could say. I didn't breathe until the first bar of the second system, which felt a lot better, and I think it made a little bit more sense. So this time through, I'm going to really focus on dynamics, maybe starting a little bit softer, getting a little bit louder, and then bringing it back down by the end when I hit do. And I know that if I were to record the whole canon, like with multiple voices singing at the same time, where the voices end up are on do. So every phrase ends on the do with those three voices together. And when I recorded this the first time, I noticed that my tuning was off quite often there. So just being mindful of the tuning of that do, of the G, is important here as well. So here's my last recording. We're going to pay attention to dynamics, having a goal of where the phrase is going to go, keeping that breath mark in mind, and also I think I could be a little bit less rhythmic as well. I'm still really feeling where the big beats are, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I think it could be a little bit more smooth. So here's the last time. So, fa, sol, la, so, re, mi, fa, so, fa, do, re, mi, fa, mi, ti, do, re, mi, re, do. So after listening to that third recording, I'd like to try a little experiment. My coach and singing teacher often ask me to sing the melody of whatever song I'm doing on just the vowels. And there aren't any words to this canon, but I'm gonna just try it using the vowels for the solfege and see if that makes any improvements to the legato line. And then afterwards, I'm going to put the syllable, or sorry, not the syllables, the consonants back in and see if I notice any difference. So here it goes. So, fa, sol, la, so, re, mi, fa, so, fa, do, re, mi, fa, to those two recordings. Some of the vowels were incorrect for when I was just doing the vowels in the canon, but that's okay. Um, I think it did do something to improve the legato line. I did notice that last time that I sang it with the consonants and the vowels, um, there were a few things that, like the tuning, and maybe some of the shaping and things that were missing that time. So it's definitely a work in progress. It's definitely something to keep working on and keep in mind. Putting all of those things together, keeping it consistent, breathing where it's appropriate, some nice dynamics in there to make it an interesting musical phrase. But yeah, those are all things that will keep improving, and those are some goals for future recordings and singing. So thank you for listening, and there you have it, Caldara number 34.